Imagine a world where nations are on the verge of collapse, alliances fall apart, empires crumble, and millions are caught in the chaos of the Great War. Let's explore the biggest war, World War I, a conflict that reshaped the world. In this video, we'll delve into the key events that triggered the war, the terrifying experiences of soldiers in the trenches, and the new technologies that changed warfare forever. You'll discover lesser-known facts and dramatic moments that kept the world holding its breath. Why watch until the end? Because the story of World War I isn't just about battles and treaties. It's about the human spirit, the bravery amidst chaos, and the lessons that still matter today. From the assassination that started the conflict to the final armistice, every moment is a piece of a puzzle that changed history. Stay with us as we explore these gripping stories and uncover the mysteries of a war that continues to shape our world. Welcome to Core Touch. If you want to understand the past and its impact on our present, hit the subscribe button and join us on this incredible journey. To explore the battles and strategies, we need to understand the spark that ignited the war, one bullet that changed the world forever. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary and his wife, Sophie, were assassinated in Sarajevo. This single act of violence sent shockwaves through Europe. The assassin, Gavrilo Princip, was a member of a Serbian nationalist group, and his actions set off a chain reaction of political maneuvering and military mobilizations. Austria-Hungary, backed by Germany, issued an ultimatum to Serbia. When Serbia's response didn't meet all the demands, Austria-Hungary declared war. The situation escalated quickly as alliances were activated. Russia began to mobilize in support of Serbia, prompting Germany to declare war on Russia. Soon after, Germany declared war on Russia's ally, France. As these declarations piled up, the tension across Europe reached a breaking point. Nations that had maintained a delicate balance of power were now gearing up for a conflict of unprecedented scale. The world watched in suspense as the intricate web of alliances pulled one country after another into the fray. The assassination in Sarajevo was more than just an isolated act of violence. It was the match that ignited the powder keg of Europe. The immediate reactions of the major powers, fueled by nationalism, alliances, and a desire for dominance, set the stage for a war that would engulf the entire continent. To explore the battles and strategies, let's meet the major players. Allies and enemies, each nation with everything to lose. The Allied powers were led by France, Russia, and Great Britain. These nations were later joined by Italy, Japan, and eventually the United States. They stood together against a common enemy, bound by treaties and mutual interests. On the other side were the Central Powers, dominated by Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. Bulgaria joined them later, adding to their strength. These nations had their own alliances and were driven by a desire for power and territorial expansion. These alliances weren't just formal agreements. They were built on deep-seated rivalries and historical tensions. France and Germany had long been at odds, especially after the Franco-Prussian War. Russia and Austria-Hungary clashed over influence in the Balkans. Britain and Germany were locked in a naval arms race, each striving to dominate the seas. These rivalries created a volatile environment. The intricate web of alliances meant that any conflict had the potential to draw in multiple countries. When Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, the alliances kicked into gear, pulling one nation after another into the conflict. The stage was set for a massive global war. The Allied powers and the Central Powers were prepared to fight, each side believing in their cause and determined to emerge victorious. To explore the onset of conflict, it's essential to understand the fragile state of peace that existed just days prior. Tensions had been simmering for years, with diplomatic negotiations failing and provocations escalating. Then, seemingly overnight, everything changed. The declaration of war echoed across nations, a stark announcement that shattered any remaining hope for a peaceful resolution. Leaders stood before their people, delivering speeches filled with patriotic fervor, urging them to unite against a common foe. The air was thick with a mix of excitement and dread, as citizens grappled with the reality of impending conflict. As the mobilization of troops began, trains and trucks filled with soldiers departed, leaving behind families and friends. The rush of military might was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Young men and women donned uniforms, feeling a surge of purpose even as anxiety gnawed at their hearts. News reports flooded in, capturing the fervor of recruitment rallies and the solemn farewells of loved ones. In towns and cities, life transformed almost overnight. The sound of distant drums and marching boots became a rallying cry for some, while for others, it was a harbinger of the chaos to come. As the first shots were fired, the world braced itself for the storm of war, a conflict that would forever alter the course of history. To explore the Western Front, it's important to understand the brutal reality of trench warfare that defined this grueling battlefield. What began as a strategic maneuver quickly devolved into a hellscape, where soldiers found themselves locked in a grim stalemate, fighting for every inch of mud and blood-soaked ground. Trenches snaked across the landscape, deep and muddy, offering little protection from the relentless barrage of enemy fire. Life in the trenches was a nightmare, cramped, filthy, and filled with the stench of decay. Soldiers faced constant threats from artillery shells raining down, the sharp crack of gunfire, and the ever-present fear of gas attacks that could strike without warning. Each day blurred into the next, marked by the monotony of waiting and the horror of sudden violence. The trenches were alive with the sounds of despair, screams, the groans of the wounded, and the relentless drumming of raindrops on muddy earth. Men struggled with vermin, disease, and the psychological toll of combat, battling not just the enemy, but their own deteriorating sanity. Despite the camaraderie forged in the depths of despair, the harsh realities of trench life wore down even the bravest souls. Each dawn brought new challenges, from supply shortages to the haunting specter of death as friends fell one by one. The Western Front became a symbol of suffering and resilience, where humanity was tested in ways few could have imagined. To explore the technological advancements in warfare, it's crucial to recognize the profound shift that occurred during this era. The introduction of weapons of unprecedented destruction changed the nature of combat, marking a stark departure from traditional battlefields. Machine guns emerged as deadly machines of war, capable of firing hundreds of rounds per minute. Their rapid-fire capability turned open ground into a killing field, rendering old tactics obsolete and creating a chilling new reality for soldiers on both sides. The relentless rattle of these weapons became synonymous with the horrors of trench warfare, contributing to staggering casualties. Tanks, too, made their debut, rumbling across the battlefield with an intimidating presence. Designed to break through enemy lines and traverse difficult terrain, these armored behemoths symbolized a new era of mechanized warfare. They offered protection to troops and instilled a sense of hope. Yet they also introduced new tactics and challenges that reshaped the battlefield. Perhaps the most sinister innovation was poison gas, unleashed in the hopes of causing panic and chaos. Clouds of deadly gas drifted across the trenches, suffocating and blinding those caught in its grasp. The psychological terror it instilled added another layer of brutality to the already grim conditions. These technological advancements didn't just change the weapons used, they transformed the very nature of warfare, escalating its brutality and leaving a lasting impact on soldiers and strategies alike. The battlefield became a place of relentless destruction, where the horrors of modern combat emerged in unprecedented ways. If you found this exploration engaging, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories from history. Join us as we uncover the events that shaped our world. Thank you for watching.